Hello. I'm going to just take a second to share my live here. And I don't have my camera up yet because I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. I'm still not quite used to this live stuff and not really sure about some of it. So I think I need to put this here. Just give me a second to make sure that I've got this the way I need it to be. All right, looks like I can see everything. So, hello. Hi, Tara. How are you? Thank you for joining me. I am going to make a thank you card with you today. And then I'm also going to do a little mini box of just a little project to show you that paper crafting isn't just making cards. There's lots of things that you can do. I don't know why it's looking like I'm crooked. I hope that it's actually coming off fine, but for some reason it's showing on Facebook to me that it is sideways. So I apologize. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully you can see it okay, even though it's showing me as a sideways. All right, well, let's go ahead and start. I am starting with a piece of mint macaron cut at 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half to be 5.5 by 4.25. And I like to just try to line up my edges the best I can and use my bone folder to crease it down nicely. The next thing I'm going to use is this gold brushed metallic cardstock. I've used this before, so just to let you know again in case you didn't see it, it's like shiny, it's gold, and it's called brushed metallic because it has this like brushed look to it. It's like streaks or something. I'm not really sure if you can see it, but it's really, really nice. So this piece is going to be a panel on top of my card base. And then I have two pieces of DSP designer series paper, which is like the same thing as pattern paper. And these two pieces have the foiling in them, so it kind of looks nice with my gold brush metallic piece. I'm going to glue these two pieces to my brush metallic piece. So you can use whatever you want as your adhesive. I am using my Stamp and Seal. And I want to put it on with a little bit of a border all the way around. And then I'm going to butt this piece up against here as long as I have enough of a border on the bottom. It looks like my border on the bottom is slightly smaller than I wanted it to be compared to the top, but that's okay. So this is now my panel to go on my card base. Before I put it on my card base, I'm going to do some stamping on my card base. So I'm going to use the Beautiful Autumn set, and I'm just going to use this piece here. Kind of looks like wheat to me. I'm not sure if it is wheat, but that's what it looks like to me. So I'm going to use this piece of wheat, and I'm going to put it on my block. And I'm going to use Versamark. Versamark is a clear, sticky ink that you can use for like making watermarks, or you can use it for embossing. And that's what we're going to do right now, is I'm going to emboss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp just in the corners, the opposite corners here. Just a little bit of stamping. And it's okay if it overlaps. Just want to give a little bit of something here. So it's just not a plain border all around. You can have it as a plain border if you like. I just decided I wanted to add a little something to mine. And I'm going to call that good. Now what I do with this ink that's on here that you probably can't really see, but it's sticky and mostly clear, is I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath my card, and I'm going to take some gold embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle it over those stamped images, and then I'm just gonna let it fall back onto that piece down there where it will collect it and tap it. Oh, sometimes, especially without using an embossing buddy, which I did not do, you get a lot of extra stuff because it will grab a hold onto like oily parts. Like if you touched it with your hands, there's oil on your hands. I'm not gonna worry too much about it because those little flecks will just kind of be a part of the background, but I'm going to try to get off the major big parts. I don't want it to be completely I don't want it to be completely covered with all these flecks, because then you won't really see. Wow, I shouldn't have blown on that. You won't see what I did. So we'll take care of that in just a second. I'm going to put this away. Just dump it back into the container, and you can use it again. Now what you do is you take your heat gun, you turn it on, hopefully you can hear me, and I'll let it warm up for a minute, and then I'll go over it with the heat, and it will melt the powder. So I'm just waiting for it to heat up a little bit. Some people say don't take this long to heat up, but I feel like mine kind of does, and I'm not really sure why. But alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start heating this up so that it will melt. And that was a little bit smeared, but I'm not too worried about it. if I was making it like to sell or something, I would be a little more worried, but this is just for my own purposes and for the purpose of the video. All right. And you can see that it's a little smeared and there's a lot of little flecks, but I'm not worried about those flecks. Also, the heat does kind of bend the cardstock, but once we make it, you won't even notice. So now I'm going to take my panel back and I'm going to add a piece of ribbon. This is Stampin' Up's basket weave ribbon in mint macaron, and I'm going to put a piece right across here, kind of to cover that space where those two DSPs meet. So I'm going to cut a length here, and then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back so that I can put, whoops, this down. And then I just like to make sure that it's fairly straight. And usually this, just putting a little bit of adhesive is enough for the ribbon to stay. But if you are worried that the ribbon's not going to stay, especially with this ribbon it's a little bit thicker and heavier, then you can put something else on it. You can put like a piece of clear tape, or you can put tear and tape, which is what I'm using right now, just to show that you can put something else that will help hold it. Now what I'm going to do is put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of here. I want this to be popped up. And I'm down to my end of my dimensional sheet here, if you are wondering why things are flying across my table. You can put as many dimensionals on as you want. A lot of people put it just in the corners. Some people are uncomfortable with putting it in just corners and they put it all over the whole thing. Just to use this up, I'm going to go ahead and just put some in the center as well. Just a minute, I'll be right back. Cat wanted to leave the room. All right, so I just take the backing off the dimensionals. And if you are watching, or even if you watch just for a minute and are done, please share my live. If you share my live, you'll be placed into a drawing, and that drawing will give somebody the opportunity to win from my prize patrol, which will be drawn at the end of the month. So every single time you share my live, it's one time per live, but every week you can be entered. And then you might win. And my prize for October is the Zany Zebras stamp set. This is a super cute set, super easy, very basic, and anyone can do this, whether you're a beginner crafter or an avid crafter. This is a great set. So I'm giving that away, so feel free to share my live, and that will help me too, and I would really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into the center of my card. And you see now that the stamping on the edges, on the sides there, just gives it a little bit more than it just being the plain edges. And I liked the way that came out. So then I'm going to take my thank you stamp from the same set. And I'm gonna put it on a block. I'm gonna use a bigger block. This one just goes over the edge, so use a bigger block. And I'm going to emboss once again. So using Very Vanilla, I have a piece of scrap here. Just gonna get rid of this. I'm going to stamp on my thank you using my Versamark. And I'm gonna leave a little bit of room around it because I'm gonna die cut it out. And give it a good second there to make sure I get the ink down. And it looks okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my powder just like we did before. There we go. Set that aside for a minute so we can put this back into the container. And we'll put that aside. And I'm going to get the heat gun again. So gotta let the heat gun warm up for a second, but not really as long as I did before because I can feel that it's still fairly warm. And just gonna go ahead and hold it over, and I can see, and hopefully you can see it too, but it starts melting that powder. And I just want to make sure I got all of it melted. There. Now I'm going to take a die. I'm using this particular die from the Tasteful Labels dies, which is in the current catalog. And this did warp a little bit, but it won't really be that noticeable after we get it all taken care of. I'm going to take a piece of washi tape to hold it down, because I need to put this through my die cutting machine. And there we have it. It's cut out. Set that aside. And just got some flecks on it, so I'm just gonna get those off. Now I want to pop this up as well over my ribbon, so I'm going to get some new Stampin' Dimensionals. Gotta open a new pack. Yay! I love when I use up items and have to open new packs. I don't know why, something satisfying about it. Alright, here's my new pack, and I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on here. And because I'm kind of putting it over this wide ribbon, I'm going to put 4 on here, but normally I would probably only put 2. This also was embossed and is slightly warped, so giving it a few more will help that warping. And my stomach is rumbling so bad, I apologize. All right, that is my card. Very simple, basic, quick, and beautiful. Again, as I've said in the past, you can decorate your inside. You can put another piece in. This is light though, so it can be seen to be written on. So that is the card. Now I'm going to show you my little project. This little project is pretty quick too. This is Stampin' Up! Calls this the mini paper pumpkin box. It's already cut for you and scored, and you can just fold it yourself. So I'm going to fold up the sides, and I'm going to put these tabs in. Then I'm going to fold at this score line, which would be the bottom back, and those tabs in. And then you take the outside edge piece and you want to put it over those tabs. Those tabs should go in the center, and then when you push here, there's some tabs that go into the bottom. That holds it there. So these tabs go here. You fold this piece up, and then you fold this piece over those tabs and push it into the holes on the bottom, and that holds that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and fold on these lines. Usually I actually fold all the lines, all the scored pieces first, and I didn't this time, but that does usually make it easier. All right, so then you just fold with these long side tabs in all the way down, and then these little tiny tabs, like flaps, go into the front there. And then you have a cute little box. This box I'm going to decorate. I have my pieces here. So first I'm going to start with these side pieces, using this DSP, which is actually the back side of one that we already used. I'm going to put some seal on it. And this measures at, I believe this one's 3 5/8 by 7/8. But I'm going to plan to put this on my blog, so if you are interested in sizes, check my blog out later, that probably in the next day or two. And I'm going to go ahead and do this side as well. I want to make sure that my image is facing up, if you have an image that does that. So this is the top of my box, and I want my image to not face this way. I want it to face this way. I'll go ahead and stick this on here. And then I have two long pieces that are the same, but I'm actually debating on if I want to. Nope, I'm going to keep them the same. I'm going to use this multicolored side. So I have one cut for the back, and this is cut at 5 5/8 by 7/8. And then I also have one for the front flap as well, or the front of the box. And that is right here. Now you can cut it differently. I wanted it to have a little bit of a border around, but you can cut it even more precise and have a lot less of a border. And then I'm gonna take the same DSP and I'm gonna add it on the top. And I honestly don't remember what size this was. It looks like I did not write it down. But if you want to know real quick, it is, looks like it's 5 1/2 by 3 5/8. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the top. Making sure that my front is facing me and the image is facing me in the proper way, so that it is not going to be like upside down to look at. All right, so there's that piece. Then I'm going to take another piece of that brushed metallic gold cardstock, and I cut it out already. I die cut it using these stitched rectangles. I'm going to adhere that to my box, and I'm going to do it right in the center. And then I have a bunch of leaves, and these leaves actually were from the printed paper. One of the sheets had these leaves and acorns, and I just used the punch. There was a trio punches that came with the whole suite, and I'm going to use these around my piece here. Sorry, I've got like these big nails that make it hard for me sometimes to pick stuff up. I'm going to use glue dots for this. And I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to do them in corner and corner. So you can do yours how you want. Go ahead and just stick some of these on the glue dots before I pull them off. The baby monitor is on and I can hear them talking downstairs as they're getting ready for bed. So if you happen to be hearing that, that's what is going on in the background. All right, and I'm not sure if I will use all of these or not, but we shall see. Just give me a second here to flip this one. Nope, I don't want that one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull some of these leaves off, and I'm just going to stick them around in the corners. I do want this one actually. You can put them however you want. They don't have to be in any like certain order, but I've decided to I think I'm gonna go under this one. Kind of decide last minute what I'm going to do. There's some leaves there, and then this bottom corner, I think I'm going to do 2 leaves. One leaf. 2 leaf. And I think I'm going to put an acorn there. And I put the leaves upside down, but I'm going to put the acorn facing this way. And I'm wondering if I want to put an acorn up here too. You know what? I think I do. So I'm going to go ahead and put an acorn up here. There. And then I'm going to put a sentiment right here. I'm gonna pull out my scrap of Very Vanilla again. And I'm going to use My Heart is Grateful for You on this this piece of scrap. All right. And then I think I'm going to stamp it in mint macaron. So I find my mint macaron. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it over here. And that did not come out very good, so I'm going to try again on this side. I think I might need some more ink for my pad. The other thing I could do is use the Stampin' Pierce mat. That would help, but I didn't use it. So that's all right. It's not the best, but it would have been better if I used the Stampin' Pierce mat, but I'm gonna go with it and say it's good enough. And then I'm gonna cut this out, and I think, let me think here for a minute. I'm actually wondering if I want to punch it with a circle, but I think the circle might not be big enough. Nope. So I'm going to just cut it using my cutting board. So I'm just going to go fairly close to the sentiments. Don't need much border. And then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. And I'll put it here. Yep. I was debating on whether I wanted to put some ribbon or something, but I think this will be good just the way it is. So let's go ahead and put this on here. And there we go. So you have a box that is decorated, and then you can fill the box with what you want to fill it with. I will show you. Some people would put maybe some candy in here. You could put like little lotions. I'm going to stick some cards in here that I want to see how many I can actually fit. So let's see, I have 5 cards. Let's grab 5 envelopes just to see if it will work. I'm not sure if that will be too much or not. So let's check it out. I've got 2 envelopes so far. 3, 4, 5. I typically give envelopes with cards. Some people don't. I just think it's easier that way. It's kind of a nice little touch. Let's see if these will fit in here. They won't, but you know what would fit in here? Note cards. Note cards are slightly smaller. They're like, I think they're like 3 3/4 by 4 1/2 or something like that. So, seeing if I have a note card on hand to show you. Nope, I think all my note cards are gone. But something else you could stick in here. I know this is like more of an autumn theme. But just to show you, I have some Christmas tags. So you could put some of those in there for a gift. I have some ornaments that I've made. So you could put ornaments in here. You could put a gift card in here. There's it's actually big enough to put, you know, several things into. And actually, since now that I know that it only holds a note card size, I will make sure to make some note cards to have on hand in case anyone decides that they want a gift box of note cards. But that is the project today. And this is the card that we made to go with it. It was my first card that I made when I was practicing and trying to decide what to make for a card today. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, if you share my live, you'll be added into the monthly drawing. At the end of October, I will draw for this prize, which is the Zany Zebra stamp set. And if you share my live each week, you'll get your name put in each time that you enter, that you share my live. So you could get 4, I think it's 4, it might be 5 weeks this month, I'm not sure, but you'll get either 4 or 5 entries into that. And it would really, really, really help me if you could share my lives, if you could share my page, if you could like my page and like my posts. Really would like to just spread the cheer and news about myself and how I love stamping, and just I really want to share it with more people. So if you could help me, that would be fantastic. I hope that you have a great evening, and I will see you next week. Bye.